now joining us, we have Rory from Appalachian Voices, and he's going to be talking with us today a little bit about an energy efficiency campaign. Thank you so much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure.
Now, go ahead and start by telling our viewers a little bit about Appalachian Voices in case they're not familiar.
Okay. Well, we're a nonprofit based here in Boone, North Carolina, and our main focus is on helping protect the communities of central and southern Appalachia from, I would say, excesses of extractive industries such as mountaintop removal mining, coal ash pollution, which has been in the news a lot lately.
Right.
But about a year ago, we wanted to start working on solutions work. So we've expanded our campaigns to focus on energy efficiency for rural Appalachian residents. And so that's kind of where we see ourselves going forward, is working on more solutions for the communities while we're also working to protect them. So that's what we do.
Very neat. Now talk with us a little bit about how you guys kind of decide what needs to be done, and then how do you come up with these plans to actually implement changes?
Well, on our coal-related work, it's unfortunately been a lot of reaction. While we're trying to work on legislative solutions to increase regulation on coal ash contamination of groundwater or on mountaintop removal mining, both on the state and federal level, we do have sort of a that's kind of our long-term plan to try to make sure that these communities are protected into the future. But as you see with the coal ash spill in the Dan River, we always have to be ready to get on the ground, and we do things like water testing and talking to communities about the dangers and trying to get them involved so that moving forward they can work for their own interests. On the energy efficiency, it was a new campaign, so we had to develop our strategy. But we've come up with we're trying to work with rural electric cooperatives, and that does require a plan because they're kind of slow moving. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, talking a little bit about the Dan River, that's been a big story in the news lately. Can you give us any updates on that and kind of what you guys have been doing to address that issue?
Well, right after it happened, we immediately, two of our staff members went down to the Dan River to start taking water samples to see what the level of contamination was, and so that we also had our own data, so that when the state came with their water test analyses, we could compare it to theirs and make sure that they were seeing the same thing that we were seeing.
Right.
As for an update, it's kind of tough. It seems like there's still a lot of danger at that site, but also it raised concerns that among the environmental community have already been there for a while, but it raised the issue of coal ash contamination at the other 14 ponds across the state and brought that more to the public attention, which is good, because it's forcing the state to do more, hopefully. But it's still, Duke was supposed to submit a plan for how to deal with the contamination in all of their coal ash ponds on Saturday, and I don't think we've heard an update about that yet.
Okay. It sounds like you guys have been very involved in kind of helping to fix this problem.
Oh, we actually kind of stole a former, she was the former, I believe, head or a former manager at the Division of Water Quality through the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. And she quit the job there because she was frustrated with how they were, kowtowing to industry, and she came and joined us. So we're lucky to have her on our side now.
Fantastic. So talking a little bit about this energy efficiency campaign, can you first of all just kind of remind everyone why energy efficiency is so important?
There's many reasons. First of all, there's the obvious environmental benefits. If we use less energy, then we're burning less coal, and we're mining less coal, and we're storing less ash in coal ash ponds. And in the Southeast, there was a study by Duke University and Georgia Tech saying that the Southeast has the largest potential for improving energy efficiency. And we're also most dependent on fossil fuels for electricity generation. So increasing energy efficiency in the region could have a huge impact environmentally. But it also, at the same time, the people who see the highest electricity bills, they live in rural areas, they live in poor housing stock, and they're of lower income. We just did a study showing the relation between poverty and the burden that electricity costs impose for people of low income, and there's a direct correlation. People who live in, for instance, a trailer home or other manufactured housing or old houses, they don't have energy efficient appliances, but they're also most likely to be low income. So could have a huge impact in terms of reducing that burden by improving their energy efficiency and reducing their energy costs. But it also has a huge potential for local environmental impact. You know, these are local jobs, contractors, people who do insulation, appliance installations, things like that. You can't outsource those, so
Right.
yeah, triple bottom line impacts for energy efficiency.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of benefits, not only for the environment and for everyone, but on an individual basis, it can help a lot too.
Indeed.
Fantastic. So with this campaign, talk with us about some of the specifics of what you guys are trying to do.
Like I mentioned, we're trying to work directly with rural electric cooperatives, which are obviously different than your Duke Energy, which is a big corporate utility. But rural electric cooperatives serve a smaller area, and they are, by definition, they're nonprofit, they're cooperative. And so I, as a customer, my cooperative is Mountain Electric, and so I'm a part owner. And so we see a lot of potential for working with cooperatives because they are service oriented. They're every one of their missions is to improve electricity service for their members,
Right.
And for the owners, and they're also, and you can, because everybody who is served by the cooperatives is a part owner, that where necessary, that gives us a huge opportunity for mobilizing people to influence the decisions made by their cooperatives. So, and then third, as I just mentioned, the need. You know, they serve rural areas, and so we figured that that's where we could have the biggest impact.
Absolutely. So on an individual basis, what can people be doing to be more energy efficient?
Well, there's a number of, so I like that question because there's a list. But in terms of being more energy efficient in their home, there are a lot of easy, low cost or no cost things that they can do. They can, program their thermostat, or just install a programmable thermostat so that they can set the temperature based on when they're home, and they can better manage, the comfort level of their home.
Right.
And by paying more attention to your heating and cooling systems, you can reduce your energy costs a lot. Other things are, a lot of people can do basic installation of their attic on their own, or they can caulk around their windows, or they can use their dryers less. They can hang I mean, there's all sorts of number of things people can do in their home. But if they want to get involved in our campaign, we've been helping people write op-eds and letters to the editor. We started a online website called the Energy Savings Action Center, where they can learn about the energy efficiency programs that their cooperative currently offers, and they can send them a letter asking them for more to do these. What we're promoting is what's known as an on-bill financing home energy loan program, which would help people finance a comprehensive set of home energy efficiency improvements, including weatherization and insulation and appliances. And then they can pay those loans back on their electricity bill. And the point is that the savings are greater than their loan payments, so they see their electricity bills go down from day one. So they can get involved through that Energy Savings Action Center. That's at voices.org/save energy. And they can contact us if they want to go out in their community and get more people to sign these letters, or if they want to lead or join one of our community presentations, they can contact me at voices.org. So.
Lots of ways to get involved.
Yes, yeah. We're trying to empower people to not only better their own home and themselves, but the community as well.
Right. Now, is this the first time that you guys have done a campaign like this?
Well, we've worked on other smaller campaigns. We had a Sustainable Woodlands campaign where we put together a guidebook and did a lot of outreach a number of years ago. And in Virginia, so we have offices in Charlottesville, Virginia, Knoxville, Tennessee, and DC as well. And in Virginia, we're running a New Power for Old Dominion campaign. And Dominion's another large utility. And so we're focused on renewable energy and energy efficiency in Virginia as well. So, but that's also a new one.
Now, tell us what you do at Appalachian Voices.
I'm officially the energy policy director, but that pretty much means that I run our energy savings for Appalachia campaign. And I've been setting up a lot of meetings with cooperatives and putting materials together for distribution to media in the communities. So I'm just kind of like leading that train. So
very involved in this project.
Yeah, it's my primary responsibility. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, remind us one more time if people want to learn more, the website that they can go to.
Yeah, well, at appvoices.org/save energy, you can learn more about the campaign. We have a lot of resources, tips for people to reduce their energy costs at home, information on the programs that their cooperative might offer. And what else is on there? Information on local or regional nonprofits such as community action agencies. You know, if somebody is watching that meets the eligibility requirements for federal support for weatherizing their home, you can find links to those websites and contact information on our page. So, and you can send a letter to your utility to ask them for stronger investments in home energy efficiency. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a really neat thing to be involved with, and thank you so much for coming in to share with us.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about it. We want more people to know about this, so we really appreciate it.
Most definitely. And we will be back right after these messages with more of the Mountain Television Network.